Hi guys, it's a little after 8 o'clock. I am currently in the lactation room of my medical school. Ooh, there are some oranges chilling over there. I might eat those later and I might barf them up because I have an exam at 8 o'clock in the morning. I have to be in the room by 7:55. If I'm not in the room by 7:55, I will not be allowed to take the exam. So I have to make sure my phone's blowing up that I get downstairs by 7:55, and it's a little after 8 p.m. at night, and I'm going to spend the night in the lactation room tonight because I live an hour away from school, and I'm always worried that I'm going to miss my alarm, or my alarm won't go off, or one of my children will steal my phone or my iPad, and then I won't get up in time. Or the traffic is really bad. Like last Friday when I left school, I spent around 2 hours on the road just trying to get home. So I'm hoping that I'm not ever late for an exam, because pretty much if you can't write an exam, you're gonna fail that semester, because that's a lot of points to miss out on. So I'm in my lactation room. It's my room because I'm probably the only one who is lactating at the moment at school. So that's one advantage of breastfeeding. And this room is going to be maybe a little creepy tonight because it sits right above the gross anatomy lab, and what that is an area where they keep cadavers or bodies that we use for our studies to learn anatomy. Both good anatomy and bad anatomy, or like and abnormalities with bodies. So if anything weird happens tonight, I might be a little freaked out. I have spent the night at medical school before, but never in this room, so I'm hoping that I won't experience anything creepy, because I have had something creepy happen at the school before. But it was probably just like a power outage, or the lights being on the timer, because what was going on was I was studying, and the lights just randomly went off in the room, and I was all alone. I think I was the only one besides the janitor in the whole school, and it was very, very creepy. I couldn't even see my hand in front of my face. Oh, my phone is going. People don't leave me alone. There are other people in the building studying right now, but I don't know if they'll spend the night. They'll probably go home, because most people live very close to the school, so they can just go home. So as you can probably tell, I'm rambling, and I am very, very nervous about tomorrow. I feel like sometimes school exams can be a crapshoot. You can study really hard and sometimes not do as well, or you can not study as hard and do really well. So I'm hoping that these exams are easier. The exam for tomorrow is over immunology, genetics, like chromosomal abnormalities, macro deletions, micro deletions, molecular techniques, multifactorial disorders. It's also over epithelium histology and blood cell histology, and epithelial transport, and all sorts of things related to heme and iron and RBC metabolism. Also, it's just over so much stuff. I can't even, my husband asked me what it was over, and I was like, I don't even know at this point. It's crazy. So I still have some things to go over that I haven't covered as much as I would have liked to before today. And so I have to go over some practice questions related to the skin, especially transport. That gets a little tricky, I feel. Who would have known that you would still have to have chemistry stuff in medical school? It's no joke. And then I want to review all the practice questions that I've done in immunology, and I took a practice exam in genetics over all those chromosomal things. And I feel like I can't get too specific in what I say, because half of the people wouldn't even understand. So I'll just say things. And the molecular techniques, and I passed that practice exam, so hopefully I can do similar or even better on the real thing. So this is my setup. I have my iPad and I got out my keyboard that goes with it. And this is, I found someone who did all the lectures for our school so far that I could think of, and on Quizlet, like this one's over iron metabolism. And so I go to print, and then I make a PDF, and then I write all my own little notes, and it has most of the high yield things that you need to know. And look, I have some mnemonics, like this ferrous, we think 2 of us is a mnemonic for 2+ iron. So I have one on all sorts of, this is RBC metabolism that I still have to go over. I know some of this stuff, but I don't know all of this as well as I should, because that is just nonsense. Oh, and I'm worried too, because the professor, she's like wicked smart, so she could just test on anything and she'd be like, why don't you guys get this? Because it's so easy. This one's over hemostasis. This is like clotting and such. This is signaling via eicosanoids. I can't even say it. I'm in trouble. Here's the skin transport one. This was one that I still have to go over. And it just goes on and on. Here's some immunology. I know most of this stuff. I feel halfway confident with immunology. This is my first immunology exam, so I don't know quite what I'm doing, but I have taken 2 immunology quizzes, and I did really well on both of them. And the professor is really, really cool, so I'm hoping that her enthusiasm and the way that she teaches is, I feel like she's made it easy to learn, so I hope that it really is, how she tests it is what she taught in class. That is nothing tricky. Here's another one, antigen processing. This isn't too bad. I can see though, if I had a really horrible professor, that could make immunology way harder. I think professors make it or break it sometimes. So I just got practice questions still to go over. I have to review them. And I have a Google document. I saw America do this before, and I've done similar things in the past where you just write high yield things that you don't quite have down, but you know is probably going to be on the test, and I can quickly review it. I don't really have too much on this document right now. I made this table with tests that, these tests get really tricky. I wish we had more practice problems with them, because there'll be about 12 questions on my exam just about these different tests. So I wrote down how much time I have left and I'm planning on sleeping right here. I need time in my geriatric elderly age that I need to get some sleep. Back in nursing school or when I was younger, I used to just stay up all night and suffer through, but nowadays with motherhood and such, I need to get some sleep, so I'm reserving at least that amount of time to sleep. And I think that I will review all my practice exams and questions. There are hundreds and hundreds of practice questions that I've taken. Hopefully they'll be similar to the real deal, maybe not. Like I said, a crapshoot it seems like, and I need to make sure I am in the room by then, and I'm reserving this time right here to go over the things that I have not yet gone through, that I really need to look at before I go to sleep. So this time right here, it can all gel in my head and hopefully all make sense. So this again is my room. I'm gonna sleep in this chair right here. I brought my blankets and hopefully I get some good sleep and no ghosts bother me. That seems stupid, but even if you don't believe in ghosts and such things like that, it still gets creepy when you know that there are lots of bodies right below you. Yeah. So I'll check in later. I usually get pretty anxious before exams, medical school exams, but not other exams, because there's so much at stake and there's not a huge margin of error. You pretty much slip up once and you're in trouble. And you've wasted a whole bunch of money and your family's going to be disappointed with you. Yeah, it's a bleak picture. So I'm going to get back to studying because I feel really pressed for time now. I'll see you guys later. Oh yeah, this is the life. I may be a poor medical student, but I have a reclining chair. Oh, there are my feet. I can study now. So it is almost midnight and my brain is totally fried, so I'm gonna go ahead and turn off, I think, this main light and try to get some sleep. I didn't make it until 1. I'm starting to get really tired, and I think at this point it doesn't make any sense to continue studying because my brain is done. I drove over an hour to get here, and I was studying all day and being with the kids, and it was also kind of a emotionally hard weekend because my daughter, she went on a little bit of a nursing strike, which means that she went for over a day, over 24 hours without nursing. So that was a little hard because she just abruptly stopped. So I didn't know if that was it, if we were done nursing, or if I should keep pumping, and it was just a temporary thing, but it ended up being temporary. So all day today she had been nursing. It looks like she's getting her 3rd tooth, and she was running kind of a fever today, so I think maybe all that plays into her not wanting to nurse for one day. But she's okay, and she's with my husband right now. I do feel kind of bad leaving her and my husband with all the kids, so there's some guilt about being here in this room. This is the most quiet I've experienced in a long time for this long. Actually, it's been a long time since I've been in a room for a couple hours by myself. So this is kind of nice, but I'm tired and I'm gonna go to bed. I think I'm gonna still get up around 4, which would give me about 4 hours to continue my studying. I didn't get to the practice questions, well, not all of them, for the transport section of the epithelium that we're studying in histology. So I will be doing that, and then I'm going to review more immunology. I did review some practice questions there, but not all of them, so I definitely need to review that because I haven't really looked at immunology too much. We have been tested over all of the materials through quizzes, but I really want to get a good grade in that class because it's the first test of 3 for immunology. So I am going to bed because I am not even thinking straight anymore. So good night. Hi guys, well I got some sleep. I got about 4 hours and I've been up since 4. I didn't record because there's someone over there and I don't want to be weird and creepy. So I didn't get through everything that I wanted and I'm kind of freaked out. But hopefully it will be okay because I came across a whole nother set of practice questions. I don't know if they're current from this current year or from a prior year, but I still like to do all of them. So I was like speeding through it. I have about 7 more minutes before I need to be seated in the exam room. So wish me luck because I'm gonna need it. I hope to pass and maybe do okay. I think it all depends on how evil the professor wants to be. Professors, because there are so many that teach maybe just one lecture, so exam question styles are very different within the same exam and even within the same topics. So I will see you guys later. Bye. Hey, I'm back. I took my exam. That was the longest I've ever taken to finish an exam. Usually I'm one of the first or second ones out of the exam room, and I really took my time. I'm hoping that I passed everything. I was sort of calculating like how many questions I could miss in each category. It was rough. There were still a lot of people in there. Right now there's a lot of fog, and I think I'll stay here at the school a little bit longer because you can barely see across the parking lot right now, and I don't know if it's quite safe to be driving all the way home yet. Hopefully it gets better because my husband needs to leave for work and I need to feed the baby. So I'm just going over to see what the questions that I had difficulty with, to see if maybe I got them correct or not. There were some of them that even with my notes, I don't know if I would have gotten correct because I just didn't know. So immunology was definitely harder than what I thought it was going to be. Like PSL, which is like our physiology, histology class, was harder as well. And then genetics was, I thought that was pretty fair. I think I did pretty well in there. So I'm going to keep going over what I can remember, and hopefully I didn't miss too much. It looks like so far, oh, I see one, but I need to look up still. It looks like I made hopefully the correct choices in my answers.